Everybody's people. Ah, yeah. Oh, people. Oh, I don't have to put that on because at least I can accommodate with it on without having to get up. Even if I ever, I was up there. If you want to pick a nice, no, I don't like long sleeves though because then I get too warm too quick. I don't like short sleeves because I don't cover my arms and the breeze and the coolness is felt. So, got to do things that can just throw on and throw off. Like, but so, looks like today might be the day. Today might be the day that a certain someone comes in here. He's ready to do outside. It's not too bad at the moment as far as like the smoky heat, but it certainly is getting there. I actually kind of wonder. Oh, you do, eh? No, I gotta do it this way. To put on my hero cape, for lack of a different way of putting it, when I said upstairs. So I'm gonna go save lives live, or whatever. Gonna read this face. TK, is that you? Is that you? Sometimes I'm like OCD, making sure that chat's on because it's great. It's important. With love and kindness, it's good. You have been very supportive to my young chat. Yeah, this one isn't young. It's restarted, kind of thing. Wow, that you must have typed that before you came in because it came in really quickly. And I love you, buddy, and respect you for supporting my channel. Here to support and learn. Okay, thank you. So you might be curious. Yeah, that's what you said. I know what you mean. I don't know if that necessarily. It makes sense to me. So sure, why not, right? But yeah. So I do feel I'm not huge in the being about prayers because I do feel that as we get a second viewer, welcome, that we all have to help each other do actions to reach desired outcomes. In other words, I feel like prayer isn't enough itself. And the other person the roommate just came down, but and look at all those emojis too. You're fast. You type fast. Then again, so do I. Anywho, but I at least want to be sending out some good thoughts surrounding or about a couple things specifically. And there is somebody kind of wandering on the same floor. I was a bit late starting because I was watching a certain somebody else's podcast. While this was kind of in holding for a little while. But one thing maybe I'll start with doesn't necessarily have anything to do with that soon. But yeah, we have to be careful in this weather. I'm thinking of three things, and I don't know what order to start. I'm going to also move this a little bit closer, not that way I don't have to keep leaning forward so much. Maybe bring the dog out there with even. I'm thinking of three things. One, I'll start with is my friend's 106-year-old mother. I mean, she's not likely going to be leaving unless she escapes. Her take him with you, please. Residence. There we go. Because she's 106 and probably isn't moving very fast and wouldn't be allowed to do so. But now I'm thinking about Jackie a little bit too. But even not in our hot weather. I mean, she's 106 for 2 months, so Now, I'm curious to see how this is received, and love and kindness, hopefully. I almost didn't realize because I don't know why, but it feels early. Thank you. Yeah, I remember that's very thing. That it is LGBT Pride Month. Well, actually, I don't know if it's a full month, but there's activities for at least a week or two, I think. And I rarely go to it, but I do support. And so our metric's going to be like 30 degrees or whatever, and possibly even a little higher than that. under 40 though, but still, that's, I mean, there's going to be lots of tank tops and shirtless guys. But still, it's pretty hot. So, and especially if you're moving around and not in shade or whatever. So, um, make sure you're around that for a little bit before you build it. Remember the strange thing. So yeah, hopefully everybody has a good time and manages to not faint in the heat. um, the other thing I wanted to remember to say, and I'm not doing this in any particular. We have two people here. Did you bring someone with you, TK? Just kidding. Um, who's the other person? They're kind of shy. Um, I'm not doing this in any particular order. In fact, if I'm being completely honest, I did intend to actually start with the one that I'm going to do as the third one. And then maybe I'll do some music. Where is my phone? I'm seeing the other two devices, but where is my phone? I know it's here. I know it's not far. I'm probably sitting on it. Oh, okay, there it is, actually. Uh, I wasn't necessarily saying a date, but okay. Yeah, it was a bit of a slow start yesterday, but I did say that I expected it to pick up, that a couple of people would probably, I had knowledge that a couple of people for sure might drop in, and one did, and then one kind of was a nice surprise. But you missed it, but I guess you were meant to see this one first, so it's all good. I'm glad that you're here. This has only been 7 minutes. Anywho, the other person does seem a bit shy, but there's no reason to be shy as long as you're kind and curious and a fun person. We'll get along. Um, but I am wondering if it might be a certain someone who may be a little bit critical of themselves, self-critical or whatever, and that's normal. It's like the AC. I don't know if I can make it that particular one. I thought I could, but I don't know if I might have to check with that in a moment to see if I can make it a little less chilly, because I don't want to be getting up every few minutes turning it on and off. But last night or yesterday afternoon, I was watching a podcast. I was alluding to this on yours, TK. I was watching a podcast that had a very active chat, as this particular guy's does, and there was someone that had us both a bit worried. Um, Maybe there was more than one, but like I say, there was a lot of things coming through in the chat. But he did notice, and it felt kind of nice that I noticed as well, or that my noticing it was noticed by this individual. I honestly don't know what gender they are or in that, but because the name was Lonnie or Lane, maybe. And, you know, um, we got to be careful not to mistake, um, I mean, panic attacks for wanting to end it, for wanting attention. Because sometimes when you're doing the first two, you would naturally want and need attention. It's interesting. I can say this life is very hard, and I sometimes question, you know, wanting it or not, essentially. But interestingly, I would never want anyone else to. I understand why they would, but and that person just really felt like their friends didn't like them or care about them, and we were trying to say what kind of friends are those, that his dad didn't or their dad didn't. Um, yeah, and so Matt said some really great things. I tried to say some great things, and truth be told, I'm remembering one of the things that I said was, come to my channel and we can talk, because I didn't know how else to necessarily reach them. And I you know so if you know Alani somewhere in Colorado, but possibly staying in Kansas, for the end of the school year, I hope that you will care enough to, I hope that you will be caring and try and help them feel better as you would want for yourself. Um, We can only sometimes do so much from afar. And yeah, I wasn't able to really find them any other way. Even though I thought their name was unique, the full name. Uh, but I did not, or if I did, I have to again. I think that's the case because the other person in the home was okay. Let's say through the door, and but I do have to run upstairs briefly. I'm kind of adjusting to the AC, even though it's been on for a while. It's kind of like I don't know. Every now and then, I feel like it's on too strongly, and then I don't. Um, but I guess the good segue to that. Sorry, my eyes are just. I guess because I've been looking at the screen a while. A good segue to that is what the description says. Do you want to be big special or small special? Both are great. Um, in other words, do you want to be kind of on the smaller scale or do you want to be large scale in life? Either is okay, but I think it's good to be at least one or the other because, yeah, otherwise you do start to wonder what's the point, right? I'm very curious who the second person is. At least I'm pretty sure I am. Also, I wanted to talk about work. Uh, I know that one of our viewers is unemployed at the moment, but in there. Uh, um, but to anybody that sees this, why you love or hate what you do, and you both left, which I hate that. But I don't think it was intentional. I know that this was a bit of a deep topic, and it does affect a lot of people. To my knowledge, I don't know anybody who's done that, but that doesn't mean that. Well, I do believe Dylan maybe have, but I'm not for certain. But that's just to my knowledge. I'm sure I've met some people. Well, actually, I kind of do. Actually, I didn't know him closely, but the hubby of somebody I know from a very well established, I was going to say small business, but yes and no, in my hometown, passed away that way. Um, I'd wear the shirt. It's for a ice cream and food place. But I don't want to wear a shirt with ice cream on it. I'm chilly enough. Just kidding. And TK is back. That's cool. And I know you don't want me to hold my bladder. Would you like to hold it? I'm sorry. um, bladder. But that may have misheard. But nobody else is here. But it's still 15 minutes in. So who knows? Um, I'm going to add this into the. And you left. But I don't think it was intentional. I hope it wasn't. Just because I said that. We're both a little goofy and random and free spirits in our own way. So could have easily said something as silly. Sometimes we have to let something settle in and decide, can we be okay with that, or is that just too weird? I don't know if this is saving me energy or not to say, and I just feel because maybe I'll need it for something else. Um, I don't. It's actually maybe using more energy saying it this way than the other way, but feel free to see the description and and the latter part of it. It's not super long. I don't even know if you could call it a description or just and um, into that part as well. We did have that second other person there for about 10 or 15 minutes, which is pretty good retention. 10 minutes for sure, I would say. I guess that's the other thing, and I actually don't even remember what my title is to this. To be honest, I wish it showed on this device. It doesn't, and this is the best device that we have for podcasting. To be quite honest, um, authenticity and simplicity. Is that you back, TK, or is it somebody else? My eyes, like I say, although I was watching it on this screen, was disconnected. Sorry, back now. Okay, I was watching it on this screen, and now I'm looking at this one. And I mean, it's been a little while since I looked at this one. We got two people here, but for some reason, my eyes are. I mean, it is early. It is early. Loving all those, and that. But yes, so um, in the. Oh, maybe I didn't send it through yet. I thought I did. And this might. We have two likes. Cool. Who's the other person? This is cool. I don't think it. I don't think she was supposed to be at her workshops and stuff. But oh, okay. It's funny when those emojis, which I've seen you do before, came in. I thought it was TK. So where is the rainwater? Where? Okay, but it looks like you may have left because it only says one viewer. If that's accurate. Oh, maybe it's for the best that you missed that joke. Um, I don't want this to be taken the wrong way because I do appreciate that the person liked and all that. But I have noticed rainwater on tour. That sounds funny. We need some. I mean, even though it's kind of things are cleaned off a little bit from the winter, it's we sure do need some. No, it's a little bit of rain would be nice, but I don't want to be I'm not trying to be rude or whatever, but it is. I noticed. I think that before the person comes in, they give a like, they put those a few emojis, and then they go. Each time, I think. I don't know if they've ever said anything other than that. Um, but I guess showing quick support while being distracted online or in life, it's. I mean, some stay longer than others. So I mean, if it is trolling, it's not all that bad. Uh, um, Speaking of not that, but I would connect it to saying not all that bad. You know that I was mentioning this weekend there's a certain type of festivity happening. I'm actually kind of just curious your thoughts. Um, I had to run upstairs quickly and maybe see how it's all going outside. Um, don't want our dog to be noisy in here. Sometimes is when podcasting, but has a chew stick. Some just come to give like a pass. I guess it's kind of support for those who are busy. Yeah, and they maybe even already have those pre-grouped together, and or can select them very fast. One of the two. But yes, it's interesting in your country. I don't know, and again, I'm in support of it, but I don't know. Well, I'm in support of mostly the festivities of Pride. I don't imagine that they would have. There are lots of pride in other ways, maybe, but necessarily it depends on, I guess, the part of Africa that you're in. Um, if they would have that kind of thing. The other person that said we can be helpful to each other, and hope they have a nice time. And um, but I'm curious your thoughts. Some things we can get more in depth on, or some things are okay to be kind of in depth, and then different methods and stuff, right? Since you're here, I do feel like I kind of want to do some music too. I don't know. I don't need to do a whole lot else talk wise. Um, but I have no idea. I did do the Hallelujah song last night, so you can see that later. Um, I didn't really do anything that I would call rock, though, which is not metal. Anyway, I'll let you catch up to that previous question. And I mean, I would say feel free to give me song requests, but I feel like there's not that I'm not diverse musically in general, but I feel like there's a lot of music that you might know that I don't know, and vis-a-vis or vice versa would be the way. Um, but we can introduce each other to that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm just curious what you thought about that community and the festivities. See, that's the thing is that I find it really hard to. I don't like the very first one. I don't think it's kosher, but I find it really hard to narrow down. But I'm looking at something that might help. I do have to run upstairs briefly though. I haven't done that yet. So yes, while I'm away, speaking of Elton John, somebody in the community, what are your thoughts? The other day, I almost did some Elton John music, and it's not that I dislike Elton John, but there was a couple of things I thought I saw when I searched, and I thought, yeah, might not do it. And I feel a little bit of energy to uh, to do some rock, which rhymes with anyway. I welcome all communities, and I am diverse and accept. Very cool. I'm glad to hear that. Say, um, you know, more pleasant way to be, right? And we learn more about each other all the time. Um, um, like I looked at some of these last night. I really got. I know. You're saying, "Go do your blade, don't hold it," and saying, "Should he make that joke again?" But you did say you accept everyone. No, but I mean about it. Not the other. I mean, it could have been said about anything. Oh, I have to hold my coffee cup, or would you like to hold it for me? I mean, it's just whatever comes out sometimes, right? Whether it's you, whether it's me, just kidding. Whether it's others in the community, whether that's us, whether it's not. Anyway, don't mind me unless you want to. Well, I already kind of did say it a second time. If you didn't catch it, then it's not a joke for you. After all, it's yeah, but like I say, it is just in fun. So, am I what you expected? Um, in all the ways. Um, yeah, I noticed that. I noticed that. And what's interesting? It's interesting to see how different people, for whatever reason, carry their free spirited energy. Hey, as long as it's a good and positive way, that's the main thing. I mean, I follow a couple people on here lately. Well, I've been following Ryan for quite a while, and maybe yeah, he just gets his frustrations of the world out by playing those video games. I mean, and he's just such a free spirit that he sometimes forgets to put on footwear and goes walking around his neighborhood. Um, which may or may not actually be also common kind of where you live. I don't know, but no, but thanks. That's what I keep. Sometimes I'll say that's what I'm trying for, but really I'm not actually even trying that much. It's just how I am. And how we all can be. Um, and then I've already kind of talked about this in positive ways. This Matt guy that I follow, you can see that in other recent videos. One of them's the "You Matter" one, and the other one is a one or two after, but before that, after, but like live streamed since that one, therefore showing as newer at the top if it does what I think it's supposed to. And then who was the other one? Oh, come on. Who was it? Maybe it was you. I feel like there's yet a fourth one. Brian, Matt, you, me. If there is, I don't mean to be forgetting him. And I do think it was a guy, not that, where's my free spirited woman at? I might have to ask that more than once in this podcast because, like I say, as long as it's all in goodness, let's balance it out, you know. And speaking of diversity, remembering that however you choose to see yourself, uh, gender wise is fine. Um, and and that's a journey sometimes, right? Um, and I actually said that because sometimes you don't know, either by somebody's screen name or because their name just isn't super obvious. Like I've known a woman named Lonnie, maybe kind of two. The other person in the home kind of knows one, uh, and we kept accidentally calling them Blaine, but I don't know. Maybe I don't know, but it certainly sounds like it could be kind of a gender or gender fluid, non-binary kind of name. Yes, I would love for you to hear me do music because that's part of my good vibes, and it is, another big part of my personality. But right now, it doesn't feel cold, but it does feel cold. If that makes sense to the AC, so I might have to go turn the AC off because I can't exactly, well, not without looking really goofy, put something on my nose. Um, so just give me a few moments. But like the ones I noticed last night, okay, school's out, which it is now, so that would almost be ironic. But I mean, and somebody asked me that the other day. They said, "Are you okay to have minors on this channel?" Because some channels don't like that. I don't honestly know what to feel, but I do want to be welcoming, and I do feel like my energy is good for all. And it's medicine for your soul, so to speak. But it could be easy when looking at comments or whatever, potentially to forget someone's age and be free spirited, and the two together make awkwardness, if that makes sense. I don't know. Um, which wouldn't be the intent. I mean, this is, again, I'm working on, not, this would be a good time to do it when only you're here, and I appreciate it. To be a bit more precise because, other people, they might be like, why are you pausing? You know, what are you thinking about, or what are you hiding? When really I'm just trying to, make sure that I articulate well and don't kind of, make myself sillier than I already am, or you know what I mean? Like I'm just trying to, and that's one reason. Even though I have been more strongly believing lately that we really can't censor, you know, youth because they'll find out things. That's how old I was when my dad passed, and they are loyal and love my live stream. That's why I try to keep a clean house. And I think you're using that as a phrase, like not actual clutter. But I saw a video. It said, "How did you clutter any area of your life?" And it was 50 minutes. So I'm thinking, is that even possible? But yes, it's happened 2 or 3 times, and they do seem to like my energy. So I mean, and I seem to like theirs. It's hard when you're in a certain place in life to kind of give advice to people, and like I say, I do and don't know if I did that particular video justice where the topic was you matter, but it's hard to give certain type of, I'm putting the cup warm, and it's that type of advice when you're still trying to figure things out as well. Anyway, I do have to very quickly run upstairs. Hopefully you'll be here when I get back, um, and we'll see if we do some music. Oh, we got a third like, um, but yeah, it still says only one viewer, but I notice sometimes the view comes in on a bit of a delay, and there it is. Who do we got watching? I'm curious. um, it's always that thing sometimes. Oh, should I podcast? Yeah, I don't know. Should I do it today? And like I say, it's not as hot as it's going to be out later. I really should be out there, but we do notice a little bit from the smoke, and it is getting warm fast. I might go out for like a few moments and then come back in quickly. But I also have to, take care of that other thing quickly. They feel very empowered and motivated because I'm always just trying to preach positive vibes because I come from a very dark side past, and well, yeah, and the other person in the house was kind of saying, certain things you've probably been through, but then you have certain freedoms that we don't have, and we have certain freedoms that you do have, and all this and that. Yeah, I mean, you know what? It's kind of just a human thing. We all have had struggles, and we can learn from each other on them, and what we've learned is helpful, in our lives, and pass that along. I'm curious if the second viewer might be Lonnie. Um, Whoever it is, don't be shy. I'm going to be doing some music very soon, but I do have to step away briefly. I appreciate your patience. Something that sometimes helps in waiting, just a thought that's coming to mind, because it can be hard to be patient, is, distracting yourself with something else good, and that you feel you won't get, if you feel you need to, that you feel you won't get too engaged in, because I'll be loving to have you here, and enjoying it. I will try not to be more than 10 minutes. I really try not to go off the screen, but sometimes, on certain days, especially, or certain moments, there is certain things that are kind of important, pulling me to do so. But you guys are important, and I'm happy to have you both here, and anybody else that is here. And I'll be back. Otherwise, I'll just be kind of saying the same thing over and over again. Hopefully tomorrow morning's also like this, and maybe I'll spend that one. There's not a lot of companies. I don't know why. They have work hours. That might be different for them. Okay, so that was that portion, I guess. He's just back into the main bird, picking up tree trimming. Hey, bananas! Bananas! Woo! For another 10 or 15 minutes. Yeah, I was noticing it's already. It's already pretty. Please do this and not be annoying, or you have to look this, okay? I just came down. I tried to give the dog a chew stick because he gets noisy sometimes when doing these, and he just dropped it right out of his mouth. He's not being noisy yet, but I might have to catch him and put him upstairs so he's not too distracting. I also didn't think of any songs further. Would you like to see an interesting image? But yeah, I didn't think of it. Does our second viewer have a song request? Because, maybe it'll be something that I know. Like I say, I feel like, okay, maybe he is going to do that. I feel like, you see what? Trees are green, but I want to rock. I want to roll, man. Woohoo! I'm on a roll. I was never on the honor roll. Not inside the house, but there's somebody. The other person that lives here is in the yard. And then, like I say, our dog. So far, he's looking at me with smiling and twinkling eyes, but I can just tell he's going to start. Right, Sonny? How about you go upstairs, okay? Come on. Come on. Good. Back. I'll give you some treats for that one. Sometimes you're more stubborn than that. That means to make you come back down. I'll come to you. I come to you. Up you go. Up you go. Interesting how kind of dreams can happen sometimes. Like in our sleep, sometimes confusing, but yet still positive dreams. But it's also interesting how the conscious mind works with the unconscious, or whatever you want to call it. You got both of you still there? Not sure why the other one's being so shy, but I'm glad you're here. But you had said something. I think it was you, TK, that had said something in your video about somebody with the nice brown eyes. And I'm also thinking of jumping the line, but then I'm thinking, and I keep having this song come to me. I don't know what it's called, though. I don't think it's called the Banana Boat song, but I'm almost wondering if that's another name for the other one I just mentioned. But I mean, you might know that one. But the one that goes, look into the big brown eyes, da 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 da. Oh, I want to make you sweat. Da, 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 da. But I don't know it well enough to necessarily sing all of it. I like to kind of have an idea of what I'm going to sing. It does make me think of another song that the other one or both of you might be thinking. You must think of this one when you say that. It's not one I've done very often, but I could do it. Brown Eyed Girl. Do you know it? Would you like to hear it, either of you? Why is the second person being so shy? Am I that intimidating? But no, I mean, I'm glad you're here. And again, this is the second time I'm feeling, but also when I wanted to talk about also what makes someone free spirit. And it's kind of like, when they're used to being able to be, when they are, even if they've experienced judgments in their life, which most of us have, they don't, they feel in a comfortable, safe place where they won't be judged. And I hope that that's what you're feeling this is, to the both of you. I know one of you for sure. But spirit could also mean, like in heaven. But yeah, it's kind of like, some people, they want to be there, they want to enjoy it, but they're shy or they're worrying about being judged. I'm hoping you might step out of that comfort zone a little bit and maybe say something in the comments. But again, very happy to have you here. So yeah, I think that's the first one I'll do is Brown Eyed Girl, since it came to mind. Oh yes, I just also want to quickly check this, and I didn't turn off the ACC. The ACC? Community College? What is with that model? I tell you, that Brown Eyed Girl. Just kidding. And whoop, Rodman. I hope Rodman's okay too. Both Nikki's daughter or Nikki's human. I'm not entirely sure. And the other one that I met back in the day, since I accidentally typed that when I tried to type brown eyed. I don't think she had brown. I think she had kind of hazel eyes, which actually is ironic because I just saw somebody walking with a service dog. I know a blind girl named Hazel. I haven't talked to her in ages. If I messaged her, I bet she wouldn't see it. Just kidding. No, that was a bad. I'm late 30s. But this time, and who I am, and it's not just a faith song where I say this, but whoops, I accidentally brought up a menu. It's like, should I put you on a timeout? No, just kidding. You being bad, just kidding. But love for you, it's who I am, perfect in all of the ways. Maybe not all of them, but to us. Anyway, if you'd like to hear some faith music, I could do a little bit of that. Okay. I think I am gonna turn the AC off, and I will do it. Just kidding. See? Hi, Roger. That's actually kind of interesting because I don't know how to blog on it, honestly. I'd like to. I mean, I don't mean to misjudge because the little snippet that I got of this one guy did seem nice, but there was a certain thing I was unsure about. But you had said something in your video about, or you'd said hi to somebody. The chat was not that active at the time, and I did not see that somebody. Maybe something made you think of somebody though, on this plane or on the other one. Interesting. Same, actually. Bad, okay? Is that the same? Is that different than karaoke? Hi, Ray. We got Ray and Roger and TK and somebody who we will call either number one or number two. I don't know who came first. I think I do. Who came first? Who's on one? Who's on two? That came up last night in the video too. Or was the video one? Anyway, don't mind me. So, okay, the person, but maybe they're saying, is he ever going to play that song? Because I actually do like it, and I would like to hear it. And yeah, I don't recall at this moment. I don't recall how that came up. Yeah, like, well, let me tell you, because I recall, blah, 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 blah. You know what? I'm glad that I'm bringing joy and hopefully some laughter to your day. I think that, have I ever had 3 likes during my live before? I'm not too sure. And when somebody's watching live, does it, like, if you push the thumbs up, does that go? I don't think that goes to the like corner. I think that just goes to the chat. I think I noticed that the other day. Yeah. And you know what? Another way to show your appreciation, aside from being here, even if you don't want to come into the conversation, if you want to donate because I've made your day or you like the music that hopefully I'm eventually going to do, I don't exactly know how to receive it, but I can figure it out, and I'd be appreciative. Helps us keep us afloat. I never understand when people say, "Oh, it helps us, grow or it helps us keep putting up content." People can put up content for free, and a lot of people are, I know that TK, you're not able to really at the moment, but a lot of people that's what they're taking, and it's understandable. It's an expensive world out there, and a lot of places. But anyway, Brown Eyed Girl. Here it come, here it come. Well, there, I got to show my falsetto. I didn't know if it might not come up otherwise in this video, and who knows when. But I got to do it there, and I'm happy. I hope you're happy. I hope that sent pleasant feelings through you. But yeah, I almost feel like saying well, I mean, when you hear somebody's a certain sort of way or going through a certain sort of thing, it's easy to kind of think that, are they going to be okay? Has something happened? And then, I don't feel something super strongly about something having happened to Lonnie, and so I hope that means that it hasn't. You aren't? See, that's what I didn't understand, because I thought that allowing advertisements helped with that. And I also thought that if somebody wanted to donate, they could, but I believe I am, because I see that setting. It didn't, well, I was going to say it didn't take very long, but like I say, there was a gap. And before then, the other person uploaded more content. How? I don't know, because worked a lot of hours then too. But I guess, when I wasn't living here, had more free time in the evening and on weekends, but wouldn't necessarily want to go back. That's a perfect example of that was the past. this is the lovely present. The lovely present. But happy being out there right now. It is a little bit more kind of cloudy or a little bit more kind of hazy in the front. But like, and I mean, I did have this on, but like when I stepped out there for like a few seconds, it was like, yeah, I'm good. And I mean, I'm not in as great of house, so I got to be careful with this. I'll put this on maybe with this kind of air quality and stuff. I don't know what that means, but um, you know, the other person that's I know I keep mentioning it, but you know what? I'm giving acknowledgement that you're here too. The other person that's here obviously likes my vibe, and so must be a similar vibe or ilk, as they like to say. I don't really speak that way very often, but so that's cool. But other people, yeah, no need to do bad things to anybody. Um, and otherwise, that's just a phrase, I think. Um, you know, Matt, he'll sometimes say, "How are you?" And I'd be okay with however somebody answered because, for the most part, I'd rather that than right from because if not great, then I would try and fix that because I got to do what I can. I mean, like my dad's advice: do what you like and enjoy that you're comfortable with. Or it's come a long way in accepting people's differences and challenges. Things will be okay, essentially. And that came to me in a very special way at the age of about 25. But and it's kind of true. I mean, you know, um, what you can do was the other part. That whole topic of employment in the description that we could chat about. I do feel like I do a lot of jobs. Life hasn't given me that opportunity in the past number of years. And I know that I can't just sit around and wait for it, but I'm not exactly doing that. Definitely I am at times because I'm discouraged and distracted and whatever. And then I've got my health stuff. But, I also, you know, I do want for more, I do want, to be having more purpose and making some income. Um, but as I mentioned in last night's video, which was a little shorter, but that we're not all given the same kind of opportunities, and for lack of a different, no, that's what I'm saying. No, I thought you already knew that or forgot, but I thought it was certainly talking as if I'm not, and I'm not. I mean, a little bit of self-employment here and there, but I mean, almost not enough to really say much about it at this point. But I do have a lovely person in my life who part of her self-employment and kind of just part of her nature is kind of helping people. Just like we have stuff in common that way, and so I guess we'll see. But that thing we were talking about the other night about opening a mic, I don't think and it's cool that you know what that is. I don't think that will likely happen. Um, and Ben still is not getting back to us. And I accidentally opened Meta, and I wonder. But you know what? It doesn't have to be forced. I could say, "Would you be comfortable?" One thing I think he already is. Wearing this, or just have it in the bag and have it there, and kind of like, oh yeah, that's just something I gathered for another opportunity. But if you'd like to, and it's never, I don't know. Anywho, sorry, I was okay. I should probably do some music. It's you know, might want to wrap up soon, but yeah. I do slightly feel. Do you want to give me a second song suggestion? Because after this one, and I'll also look at this. Um, yeah, if you're in a band and I mean, there's nothing about level of talent. It's nothing necessarily about that. I do feel when you're in a band and you have that can come with challenges, and I've been in a couple. One was in high school though, and we really only played at school things. But you can kind of be looking for opportunities for each other, and you can helping each other be consistent. Like I've started getting back into doing music, even just on here, and mostly on here actually. I don't really just do it for myself, not on here. Some people may think maybe you should, but not to toot my own bugle, I do feel like I have talent, and I have since I was quite young. Why keep it to just myself? I would like to be, and at times I find opportunities, but I'm glad I give that vibe. That makes me feel like not that there's a whole lot of naysayers in my life, but there's a whole lot of people that just don't really say one way or another whether they get that vibe or whether they think I am. But I'm thinking of Dal. I'm thinking of you. I'm thinking of Michelle. Um, I'm thinking of the other person I live with. They know it, and it's just a matter of you know finding more of the right people to feel it and know it, and help me get there. I can help them get there, and I think you said you have a keyboard. I don't know if you currently do, and it sounds like you do have a pretty busy household. So I don't know how easy you'd be able, but you focus on the live streams quite well. But to take music lessons. Now, when we were talking about the rock genre for a moment, I just wanted to say, I don't know if I would say Freebird is rock. Leonard Skinner, sure, but Freebird, Smoke on the Water, yeah, I guess so. Uh, Mental Health. Um, but I just feel like it's going to be harder to be out the later it gets into the day. I want to be doing this, but I also want to be kind of balancing it with stepping outside for a moment. So I might do that. But I mean, I've sang little snippets, but I feel that both of you, or at least one of you that are currently watching, but mostly both of you, will hopefully feel that I likely do have talent, but oh, okay. Well, I understand if you pick family first. I've always liked family bands. Always been a little bit jealous of them because I don't really. I have a half brother. Um, he was musical in a band for a while. Said, oh, okay, right. But maybe yours thought too about it. And now he's a music producer, but lives in another country. Well, both in kind of a French district. And then I had a cousin who passed away who was somewhat musical, and I wanted to see his partner as family, but I mean, apparently their relationship. I didn't know. I really was not really that close with him. He lived in another province, and I emailed her not long ago and said, um, do you remember me? Yada yada. And I think she said she did, but she said that he wasn't an easy person to be in a relationship with, and she's in another kind of interesting, unique relationship, and like she wasn't mean. She did say hope that things are well. Like she didn't really want to talk about him and this and that, and I didn't really know him that well, like I say, but he is still family. There was a couple of pictures he's got posted that were kind of weird, but other than that, I mean, he did try to be there for his I guess they would be his nieces. One of them made that quite hard, maybe kind of both of them. But and he did try to be there for me. Hi, Steve, kind of thing. But I actually only I have a step Brian. I had an uncle Brian who died when I was quite young. Uh, I think Steve was more of a cousin to me. Yeah, because he was a cousin to me. But I do kind of have an uncle Steve, but not really that close with him. Anywho, blah 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 blah. Okay, I'll give you a little snippet of the song, and then I'll come back and do the full thing. Just because my focus is in multiple places. One of them is being here, and one of them is not. Laughing and running, skipping and jumping, with the misty morning coldness. I feel open you, brown-eyed girl. You my brown-eyed girl. And then then Tuesday I've got a group thing and then a meeting in the evening. So that'll help it not go so slow. And I just dropped the pick in the guitar. What's this? Said watch ad. What does that mean? Swatching? Oh, what does that mean? Was there an advertisement? First time anybody's ever mentioned it. But maybe that's where I leave. Maybe I don't know what I mean. I can get something else to use it as a pick. It won't work as good as that, but oh, okay. Was it good? That one I've been quoting a lot lately, and it's actually from my high school days, kind of. Was that phrase? You never know. I woke up kind of feeling really iffy this morning, but I got past it. Anyways, do it. Well, I'm not just stuck on. Hopefully, the other person is still here, just not saying anything. So, no, I forgot it all and I wanted it all. Which I am going to again do because, again, I feel like there's a couple important callings. And, it's not like, the weather's going to be consistent throughout the day. Oh, okay. Is that how it works? So if somebody watches the ad, which is not my content, but on my content, then I get money? That's interesting. Both things. This is another one. And I know it might not look like much to some, but, when your channel is either new or kind of been dormant for a while and you're coming back, and, I'm somewhat easy to please, maybe. The statistics of 3 likes and 2 people being here consistently, although one I'm kind of familiar with, are good, as far as I'm concerned. And I'm not entirely sure, but 2 of those likes may be from the 2 that are here. And if the one that is here hasn't liked yet, what are you waiting for? I almost did that song the other day. Waiting outside the lines. Maybe I should play that one too. Because I know I almost did the other day, but I seem to remember that there was something about it I didn't want to. I have to. You have to select conservative, balanced, or whatever the other one is to get to the next setup screen. But anyway, there was a video I did. What was it called? I think it was called something about, and it wasn't one of my most recent, but it wasn't long ago either. And I would hope they would show in order. It was called Sharing Originals, but it ended up not being only originals. And one of the ones I did was a song called Revolution by Tracy Chapman. Should I do Fast Car? It's not really rock, but I'm thinking if you know Tracy Chapman, you probably know that one. And those are the only 2 of her songs that I know. I think she does also do something with Luke Combs, but what is it? Or they? I'm not sure. I haven't even heard about Tracy Chapman in ages. If they're still doing music or whatever. I mean, I like to fulfill requests, and I could try my best to do that one. Yeah, but I thought there was another one too. But yeah, that might be it. So you know Luke Combs. That's cool. That's the new country that you like with the old country, and the country, but you like the old and new or whatever, and a little bit of all of it, right? Was that what we said? And then yeah, okay. I feel like I'd be silly not to do that. Really? Well, that's why we met. No, one of the reasons. You have to browse. Hi, Felix. You have to browse my channel. I know you intend to, but I know you have lots of distractions and stuff too. But I'm so glad that you make the time or whatever. But I actually cover a lot of his music. There was one which should show me sitting at the piano probably about 2 weeks ago, and it was almost solely his music. May 17th. It was around May 17th, I think, because I know it was close to my dad's birthday. So, and you said you're late, Dad. So now that, you didn't for so many years, but now that I know what that means, I guess both of our dads have passed away to heaven. And the other person left. I don't know if it was intentional or not, or poisonal. I don't know if I'm going to guess it wasn't TK. I guess because I'm having more dialogue with you, but watch it be the other person that's here and about to say something. Either way, I just put unintentionally put some Vaseline in my eye. Probably sooner, but possibly not. I'm hungry. I should eat something. I typed fast and then I got so distracted I couldn't add car. But yeah, Revolution was sure fun to do. I'm glad I didn't waste my energy on a phone call this morning that I maybe didn't need to make. Hi, everyone. What about that song? You're on stage 2 of 2 in the coming back program. Vote, enter, stage right. Tracy Chutman, to enter the building. The head dragon was like, this is something kind of, it was like costume, it was like very deceiving. But, I wish some of that had been recorded. In a way, it had been, but this one doesn't record audio. Huh? I see pretty sights. Oh, well, that worked out that we were both away briefly. I saw someone I wanted to call, and it wasn't Ghostbusters. And your little dog, too. Get the rich party in the house. Let's tan. Let's have fun. But I was out there for a little while. It's nice, actually, just simply for something to do, if for no other reasons. We were actually talking about going down to the festivities because tomorrow we might not be able to, and it's only going to be hotter tomorrow. And briefly it said 0. But I just saying, I don't think there's going to be much going on there now. There might be food trucks getting set up. Actually, that would be nice. Maybe just that, and then on a bike and not having to stay in the heat super long, and then it's only going to get hotter. Can you ask what? Certain things for certain places. Anywho, I should do that Tracy Chapman song. I'm getting confused. It's like Bluetooth? No, I don't need that. I need to turn my Wi-Fi back on. We have 2 people here. Maybe you're driving. If so, drive safe. If not, step into the fast car. Fast in a safe way. We will go to the store. Just trying to get the song. There we go. Okay. So I will wrap this up soon, though. I think, even though, and I don't know if it was the person who was here before or somebody else, and I'm enjoying this. It's really, I really am. But I believe it's Saturday and Sunday, and I would hope that there would be a nice food truck and something else. Well, as I mentioned earlier, this channel was started by the other person in the house. So it's entirely possible, maybe not right, but or maybe not how it should be, but entirely possible that some people who are more familiar with him come here hoping that it's going to be him. However, he works 8 hours a day, and it's garden season, and has other distractions. I don't have a lot of work a lot of hours, as I've mentioned, and such and such. And I know you're already understanding, but just in case the other person isn't. So it is more often me on here as the shared channel. But, and again, I don't think, I've talked about it in some of my other videos. I think some people are just either quick to judge or impatient or the best of intentions. They think, I'll watch this later. But then later they're showing a bunch of other interesting things or other things happen in life. But yeah, it's not that hard to give a like, though. So it's that's also appreciated. But numbers are just numbers. It's, do you like the content, and what is the content, and have I enjoyed doing it? Those are really the most important things. Somebody else asked that too, and they haven't started their channel yet, and they said, "I'll come to you for tips and advice." I says, I might not have any, but okay. But no, I mean, I do learn some. Habib, where are you? Or is it Habib? So I'm going to do Fast Car in a moment. Maybe one other song. I just want to give the other person here a heads up about something. Because it's better than a heads down. And if nothing else, at least gets us on that bike. Kind of through the area a little bit and bit of a break. And oh, yeah. kind of good to show. And I think I dropped something else. Yo. More confident in that department. Okay, so I don't think you heard that over the AC and this and that. And again, I already said earlier, and I say it often, free-spirited, no filter. So that's what you get. Now, because nobody's here, it was not that long. 3.5. Yeah. I'm out decide to put where. I don't know if I can bike in these. I certainly wouldn't be able to walk very far in them. But my feet could stand to be tanned. Stand to be tanned. Yeah, you never know where what a day's gonna hold. I only had to wait a day instead of last night for my friend to come into this podcast. I really hadn't thought we were going anywhere today, but we might just be. So I don't know if you think we should have been on the city. Then it's going to be in there for a while. I think it will. If not, I'll just stop it. Oh, right. Anybody back here yet? No? Okay then. Why not? Yeah, it is. Well, we already know that. We already know that up there. I did have that. Well, I was going to do that song, but he left. But you know what? He has a busy household. He was here for a while. Maybe he'll be back. I don't know if I should do the song in case he comes to check out the end to see if I did. No, it doesn't show a timestamp is when he put his comment. So you might think he was here for almost the hour. And he was. If I could get that like count, because like I say, it isn't all about the numbers. If I could get that like count up a couple more or so while live, that would be cool. And music might be the way. Yo, going to have to go support other channels also. Okay, so we already just said. It's not that I don't want to do that song. Part of me wants to wait until you're here, and I guess part of me feels a little bit mixy. But I should probably no. I mean, I don't know. I don't mind the song. I do like to do it. I don't mind Tracy Chapman. Doesn't make me, but yeah, I think I should take a bit of a rest. Yeah, I would imagine. Who knows? Maybe we even enter some sort of contest and win lots of money. Again, it's not just about that, but it makes things easier. It feels so much early this year. I don't keep track sometimes. The 23rd they did that? Huh. Okay. I almost thought that's where it started, but that's where it finishes right there. Okay. The only thing about doing well, I mean, it can be really good, really catch me up, because I've been so it's been so lackluster. And get a bit of else. In a way, it's like a distraction. In a way, it's welcome. Mhm. So yeah, I think um, honestly, 45 minutes didn't make most sense. Who knows? Who knows? But and I am pretty hungry. But I think I will wrap this up. I will up this wrap. Okay, so I know where two of my likes came from. So guess that was as much of Brown Eyed Girls I was meant to do for right now. Just a little snippet. I'm not great at the editing feature, but I want to be able to learn that myself. So I'll see if I do. Otherwise, there's the skip ahead feature. If there's any gaps, just skip ahead to the next thing. On this video, preferably, but in general. Anyway, wrapping up.